Welcome to a Q&A on a Wednesday. First and foremost, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this on record, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn the little notifications on for our little following that we have. With that being said, guys, let's get stuck in with some updates. Plenty of updates coming in 2024. New webinar orientation is going to be coming out. I think we're probably going to do it the week after next. We'll give it this one extra week so people can really drill it down. Just for you guys to go through this quickly. All the webinars are going to be between the hours of 9 and 3. So we're rejigging them, and there's no double barrel webinars anymore. But for you guys who are non-clients that watch this, this won't affect you. However, this Wednesday slot will be no more. It's going to be on a Monday morning. So the new schedule will look like this. Monday morning, 9 a.m. Victorian Eastern Standard or Daylight Time will be a Monday morning Q&A motivational kickstart to the week. Tuesday, sales, instead of being at 5 p.m. Eastern, is going to be at 3 p.m. So it's just that little bit closer to the afternoon when people are more free, right? Then Wednesdays, we've got our marketing webinar, which is always going to be at that 11 a.m. slot, which is the slot after this webinar right now. Thursdays, we're then going to have anything online and face-to-face. I think that's the topic, but this is still up for discussion. You guys can input into that in school, in the polls. So just get live with that. That's going to be at 3 p.m. on Thursdays instead of 4 p.m. on Thursdays when we normally have our social media and online. And then Friday is going to be all about the leverage. So guys like Mon, like Tan, like Nathan, like Cassie that are here with us today that have trainers that are leveraging, or guys that want to go that route and are committed to go that route. Friday is only leverage, and I will always be taking those webinars, period. There will be so announcement number 2, new coaches coming on board, which will be happening probably in the next 4 to 5 weeks, ideally. We're just working through a few new things. That's that. In terms of content, we have a new stage in the portal, which we're building right now, called automation. So for me and my focus this year, now that all the leverage content's been done and all of the content that will enable all you amazing people to get to 6 figures, my content is working with leverage, or my focus this year is creating more detailed content working with leverage trainers. So that's that. So we've got an automation stage, which shows you how to automate the onboarding of clients and also automate the training of new team members. So you can actually get more time back for you, basically, and focus on the growth of the business and focus on other logistics that take place. So that is that. In terms of updates, I think that is everything. Anyone that wants to put their hands up for a coaching position with us at Pinnacle, there will be a application to fill out. You have to be a leverage trainer to be able to submit an application. You have to have leverage experience. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So just keep your eyes peeled on school. There'll be another post coming out tomorrow about these webinars and what they're going to be called and stuff like that. Again, all up for discussion, and your feedback is valued. So that's it. Let's kickstart by talking about a game. Nathan, what have we got? What is the name of the game? So we talked about yesterday this book. I was talking about this book here. It's a great one. It's called The Cash Flow Quadrant. I highly recommend this to any one of you. I know, Michael, you've read the book, right, Mike? I think. You see the game in there, Mike. Basically, what I was talking about is the game that comes with it. I'll get it. It's here, and you guys can check it out. Well, so in there they talk about a game, and it's called Cash Flow. This is it, and I bought it, and it's freaking unbelievable. It's actually unbelievable. So this game, check it out, guys. If you want to learn about what it talks about, is escaping the rat race and then going into being like more, be a bigger player, where you represent more of an investor and buying businesses and stuff like that.
Monopoly on steroids.
It is Monopoly on steroids, and you have to escape the rat race to break into, to become like part of the main game.
Can you play one player?
No.
How did you play it?
Yeah.
Online?
No. I played with myself, my wife, my mum, and my dad. To be honest with you, you could play this as one player. Yeah, which is dope. Monopoly, you can't, because you need some form of competition, right? Although you kind of really could play Monopoly one player if you wanted to. That one there, you could play one player. You definitely could play one player. Obviously, it would be quite fast-paced, but here's the thing. Monopoly, I don't know, like when it's Christmas time and everyone's like, let's play a board game. I don't know whether your family is like mine, but most people don't want to play Monopoly because we have some competitive figures in my family, and I'm one of them. Me and my wife, we don't go together very well with games because we're too competitive, and people don't like to play Monopoly, normally not because of the competitive edge, but because of how long the game takes, right? Monopoly normally takes a few hours. We played that for about 3.5 hours, and we didn't even get close to leaving the rat race. And this is what the author in the book, Robert Kiyosaki, talks about, is that, if you want to, and he talks about it in the rules of the game as well, that you need to try and escape the rat race kind of quickly. And he says that there's a challenge with the game to try and escape it within an hour. I don't even know how that's possible. But the board game, what it does is it shows you about investing in property and just becoming more successful, I guess, in life, and just being how to pave a way for success. So it's really good, and it really increases your financial IQ. I think that's the one way to put it. So that's the game. Nath, for you and Mel, I think you guys would love it. It's a very different game to what most people would normally play, because there's no story to it or anything like that. It's actually it reflects real life. If anyone's read Cash Flow Quadrant, and I think Mon said before that that's a good book, yeah, like you'd love the game. And it's not that complicated. It will take you 20 minutes to get used to it, and that's it. Anyway, that's what we started talking about before. Yeah. Any questions on board games? I don't think so, right? But yeah, look, that's what we were talking about before. Today, Q&A. So let's get stuck in. Savannah, great to see you. Cass, you too. Penny, hopefully you're doing good as well. Jack, Tan, Nath, Mon, Mike, Dan, Rubes, Pierce. Questions about anything at all? Let's get this double-barrel webinar slot kicked off. Anyone got any questions? Fine. That's good. All right, I'm going to put some people on strike. Savannah, I'm going to speak with you, darling, if you're there, if you can speak. How's everything going? Otherwise, just drop a little message in the chat. Give me an update with how things are going with the comp. Obviously, we all did a big marketing marathon recently. Obviously, you guys know as well that work with me. If you work with me, you have access. Okay, you can speak in 10. Awesome. You have access to me all the time. If I don't hear anything, it means it's going good. As far as I know, if I don't hear from you, it means it's going good. So that's that. Pen, we just spoke obviously just before, which is awesome. Anyone else with any updates with anything, or they want to discuss anything at all? Otherwise, there was something that I said would be a good topic for the webinar before, the intro. Did anyone remember what that was before we started talking about property? I can't remember what it was. I said, oh, this would be a good intro for the webinar. Tan?
Yes, Simon.
Yo.
I did the you know how we spoke last night about how like I was having trouble closing people from the hamper.
Yes, let's talk about that. That's a good topic. All right, go on. How did you go?
Good. I did the whole you passed the test thing. So I gave them some homework. So which is increase their steps, drink some water, have some protein. We did the weigh-in. First thing when I saw her, she dropped 500 grams. And then I brought it up at the end as well. Total she passed, but there can be some improvements as well. I probably give her like a B minus. I'm getting her to come in again because there's some hesitation in there. I gave her the thing that she didn't do was have water. So she said she was really, really bad. I was like, okay, well, come in again. We'll do a weigh-in. Your focus this week is going to be water. So she just wants once a week, half an hour. And I see her in here regularly anyway. So I told her, okay, well, I see you in here regularly, and I only offer this if I know that you're going to commit to it. So she's a maybe, but it went way better than the consult that I did yesterday.
Amazing, amazing. So just for some context here for people that weren't here yesterday, Tan was basically, I'm just going to mute you a sec here, Tan. There you go. Tanya yesterday inside the sales webinar was basically just saying about building confidence around leads that you've generated, that you're giving sessions to. excuse me, in the right way. You're not just firing free value at them. There's a whole process as to how we generate these leads. And that if someone comes up to you and wants PT versus someone that you've gone up to or used a process in order to get in front of them with, she had some resistance around how to handle these opposed to how easy it is to handle the people that come to you, right? And basically what we ended up in summary talking about was that with the process we're running at this time of year, we're giving away 2 sessions. But in between the 2 sessions, we want to give some homework away to people to go away and implement so that when they come back, simple homework tasks, such as number 1, putting up your fluid. So go and drink 1 of these a day. And then from there, number 2, track your food. I'm not giving you any meal plans or training programs or anything. I just want you to track it. When you get people to track their food, it increases accountability and awareness of what they're eating, especially when MyFitnessPal, which is an example of a food tracking app, spits out recommended calories. So even if they just follow those recommended calories and then realize, oh crap, I'm actually over consuming, it increases awareness, which means they'll probably refrain and stop eating as much. And number 3, no workout plans, nothing like that. All you're going to do is basically just get them to increase their output. When you do those 3 homework tasks, if they come back, Tan found that some people came back and she could just really tell they weren't prioritizing anything. And this is probably because they're not paying for it, but also it shows they're not prioritizing it. Why? Maybe because getting in shape is not as much of as a priority as what they're saying to you it was. So if you're taking a consult and you find that this stuff is happening, then have a look and ask yourself, why do you think they're not paying attention? Are they really serious? If you're using our pre-exercise questionnaire, which is available for anybody to download inside our Facebook group, the PT Business Blueprint, right? If you're using that and it's on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this goal for you, right? At the start of your consult, when people don't know they're not being sold to, so they're going to be open and honest. If it's a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 or even an 8, you know it means a lot to them, but then why aren't they taking action? We then discussed basically in person how to be upfront and honest and to tell people whether they had passed the test, the homework test that you've given them to execute, or whether they'd failed it. And if you could use that as a bit of a little conversion rate booster if you wanted to when taking consults. If you're doing a 2-part 2-session consult, give them a task to go and implement. When they come back, if they've implemented the task, right, or the homework, they should pass, right? And if they haven't, you're just going to say to them, look, you failed the test, right? But it's tongue in cheek. You're not telling me you're a failure, right? It's you failed the test, right? Which makes me go, okay, see this 9 out of 10 of importance to you? Let's dig a little bit deeper. Is this really a 9 out of 10 for you? Like I've given you some simple tasks and we failed the test. But the good thing is we can always resit the test, right? So that's what you're doing to wrap them up in cotton wool. And then, yeah, from there, obviously, you should find that you'll get to the root cause of what it really is as to why people are not taking action, if that makes sense. You failed the test. Why? 9 out of 10 doesn't stack up with failure. If it's 9 out of 10, you should be studying and therefore passing the test, i.e. executing the water, the increased steps and logging of food. So there might be a little bit of a takeaway in there for some of you guys. And yeah, that's great that it went well, Tan. And then from there, just continue to rock and roll. I think that the thing with these guys as well, I'll just say, is that when they come back, just don't focus your energy. And this has been a topic in school recently in the community with a few people. I know Dan and Natasha, I think it was commenting on a few different things about focusing your energy into people that are ready. Just don't pour tons of energy into people that you just know are not ready to be taking action, right? So yeah, that's another big tip for a lot of people there. Like, don't focus on people who aren't ready. Focus your energy into those who are. So that's that. But well done, Tan. Well done. Continue to go through the volume. I think that next little word there, volume, is where everyone needs to be thinking or putting their energy in at this time of year. I mean, P.S., we spoke before about where you're at with your leads. The next thing for you is to be focusing on the volume of these leads and getting the volume of calls done with text message follow-up sequences, everything that's there for you guys as well, done, so that you can convert as many people as possible. Question: has anyone found that text message is more effective than calls across the board? Period. Anyone want to say anything on that? Otherwise, I can see. Okay, Cassie, yes. Type in the chat, guys. Text message or call? What's more effective? Chuck it in there. Chuck it in. I want to have some answers here. So Cassie's finding text messages are working. Tanya's saying calls. We're building a custom follow-up sequence at the message. Okay, text message gets them to call you back straight away when they miss it. Yes, for some, no answers. For some, okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to talk about this next, guys. So keep some conversation flowing here. When you guys have touched base with people in the gym, there is a face-to-face connection which enables you to build on top of a starting block, right? If you text message people to confirm, right, something, so to confirm them something, or like we know here, an entry into a draw, a prize draw, which is a strategy that we use, right? What that does is it associates a phone number with the person that you've already built on top of building, like a foundational building block to build on top of a relationship with, right? It associates a phone number with that relationship. From there, if you have touch points, multiple touch points with that phone number, which triggers them and their subconscious to then relate to the person, the in-person connection, when you met them in the gym floor, you will find that they will be responsive to that text message. I had a guy a girl, a great client in the UK, said that 9 out of 10 people responded to text messages, but none would answer the phone calls, which was interesting, right? Which was interesting. We will discuss this. I mean, well, if it comes up in marketing, who here, be honest, just type, you don't have to wave, just type it in the chat. Be honest. Who didn't execute the follow-up sequence of text messages with their leads for our latest marketing marathon? The text message sequence is a confirmation, then announcements of new prizes, which is basically giving you the opportunity and giving you the giving you the green light to reach out to them again, right? With a notification, basically, and then from there it's a 24-hour countdown and then the announcements. So look, be honest. I want to, like, if you did or didn't, just put I did, I didn't, I did, I didn't, right? So you did accept all the prizes. That's good. Well done. Honest. Did it, Mike? Well done. I did. I want to, if you didn't, just put I didn't. Because if you did, you're in luck. All of you guys are in luck. And I've got a big tip for you guys today. So I want to see. Okay, I did, but they didn't go through besides the first ones. Okay. Did you, that's fine, Dan, we didn't run this strategy, right? So you're all right. Okay. Now, with that, Rubes, can you just tell me what you mean with that? I did, but they didn't go through besides.
Yeah. So with SA group text,
Yeah.
the first time I used it, when I bulk blasted, I manually delivered each text. So it was still on bulk blast. Like I'd have like a list of 80 people, but I'd hit the send button 80 times. The second, third, and fourth time I did it, it would just create these big groups on text message, like 50 people. I turned iMessage off, like they said to turn iMessage off. And then it's like, I couldn't see if the text message went through or not. Some people said they got those text messages after I sent them the second and third time. Some people said they didn't. So I don't know what happened, but it hasn't really been a problem because when I call up, it's like, I'm asked, oh, did you get my text message? They're like, no. I'm like, oh, well, I've got some good news for you. And then you just say it. And then when I said about the text messaging, how they will always call back when they miss your phone calls, because in the text message you say, I've got some good news for you. So they're like, fuck, I might have won.
Yeah.
It's not really a problem either way, but I'm not really sure what went on with SA group text. I'm sure I did something wrong, but I don't know.
May I interject?
Yeah.
So I find that, yeah, same thing. So I send the group, and there's like 50 people at a time, got to keep the 50, 50. What I do is I will try to stay somewhere where I've got good Wi-Fi and good data and just stay there for 30 minutes with my phone. Does take some time, but usually they will all send quite well if my phone's connected to decent Wi-Fi and data at the same time. If I leave and go somewhere where data or Wi-Fi is shit, they all don't send.
That's a good point. Also, the settings in it as well. So just for context, guys, like SA Group Text is an app that I have used for a long time. It's a long time. It's a free bulk blast text messaging application which enables you to send out big bulk blasts for free using your phone plan, which normally is unlimited texts, but more importantly, get the responses back directly, to your mobile phone. That is the power of it. That is the power, right? Don't buy an Android. So with that being said, right, you never buy Android. This app is old. However, CRMs and stuff like that, guys, again, just for a little bit of context, CRMs, so platforms that you can run texting and even calls off a computer like this, they cost tons of cash. I say tons. If you're doing multiple text messages to hundreds or thousands of leads, you'll get charged in between 4 and 8 cents a message. You do the math, each bulk blast might cost you 50 to $100. If you're doing 10 of them, you're spending $1,000 on sending text messages. You don't need to be doing that. For anyone that's running a small, even a medium-sized business, and it is that simple, especially if you want the responses to be coming to your phone, where this is your CRM, not your computer, which you don't pick up with you and do anywhere. You can multimedia message and market to people anywhere on the go with SA Group Text here. If you preload the messages, it is prone to problems though. With that being said, go into the settings in the application. I'll show you this right now. This is something that definitely...
Yeah, it's not the most polished app, but it works.
Exactly, and it's really old. Like, it's a really old app, but it works well. Now, this is really important, guys. You need to go into the settings of the app and make sure that the send interval is set to 0 seconds. I don't know if you can see it. If you have that set to 5 seconds, right? 100 messages will take 5 times as long to send, because it will send one message, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, send another one. So like what you want ideally is send interval 0 seconds, recipients per message 500 is what I put mine to, because I like to always do bulk blasts in chunks. I would never recommend, if you're going to do a marketing strategy that works, right? Don't send any more than 500 messages. The number that you can statistically expect to receive back from a bulk blast message, right, would be a maximum of 5%. So 5% of 500 is 25. So if you're feeling disheartened when you do, like, I mean, a lot of people here have never done bulk blast text message strategy. I think, Mike, you will have done it. Nath will have done it. Maybe that's it. I don't think anyone else has done a bulk blast, like one of our bulk blast first 10s, like actual strategy to your database. We always say, side note, always grow your database. If you've generated 200 leads, if you're given a list of leads, if you're given a birthday list, you are putting them in your database as soon as you've made contact, because it qualifies you to have them as a contact for yourself. That then, therefore, that's why we have a reoccurring big bulk blast text message strategy. Therefore, you'll get a lot of responses when you nurture the leads well enough. But yeah, you don't want to send a message out to, I know, Mike, you've done this for years with me, bro. Like, there's been times you've sent a message out to 200-300 people and had 70 responses. Like, like if you're getting that sort of number, you don't want to be put under pressure. Then you've got to get in contact with 70 people quickly. I mean, I did one once, and I always talk about the time when I was in the rain. I used to do this in the rain. I'd go out and make sure I got it right, and I'd go and send this bulk blast. I had 40-something people respond, which enabled me to book in like around 40 consults. And so I signed up 20 clients, or 16 to 20 clients it was, in 2 weeks. That was intense volume, because you've got to remember, when people are on their phones, they're on their phones. hit them quick. Same principle applies if you're running Facebook ads or any outbound, like if you're getting any, inbound leads through Bark, OneFlare, anything like that. You have to act fast. Never, like, and it is really, really common. I'll get to these questions in a second, Rubes. It's common that people spend all this time on marketing, generate the leads and do fuck all with the leads. Like, what's the point? Like, just get to the leads. But I get you. I do get you. The phone calls are a pain. So therefore, what we'll do, I'm going to wrap this here. So that's a bit of detailed SA group text feedback. If you don't want to fail, and you've done, like everyone here apart from Dan, who didn't run the strategy, pretty much is fine. If you've ran, most people have dropped in a notice. Pierce and Savannah, can you please let me know whether you guys did or didn't do the follow-up sequence of messages? Be honest as well, because it's freaking important. You did, Savannah, that's good. Pierce, message the chat if you want. If you did, you're in luck. I personally recommend, if you want to try this, text, and if you didn't, that's fine, bro. You're being honest. Well done. So if you did, there is already a thread of messages. We've said this before, right? We've said this before, but people have said that some people did respond. Hey, Simon, great to see you in the gym today. Hopefully enjoyed your leg session with your nice pink shoes, right? You make it personal to them, right? Then they might respond with, just confirming your entry into the draw. Stay tuned for updates via text message from this number. Cool. They respond. When you then text them, so if you want to go and actually follow up with your leads via text, you can, because they'll see the thread. They'll see the thread, which means they'll go, shit, I'll reply. So if you guys are struggling with volume, because we are now over halfway through January, and if you're following or you're struggling with the volume trying to get people booked, just text people. And the text message, what you'd want to send them is one of the text messages where if you ring them twice and they don't respond, that's the text messages that you want to say, which will basically say, hey, got some good news. You were one of our winners. Or, hey, like Ruben said, like, hey, I've got some good news. When can I get in touch? When's a good time to get in touch? You'll find these people will reach back out to you very quickly. Then you can book them, convert them from there. Let's have a look. Rubes. There was some messages from Rubes, but they're gone now, I think.
Yeah, I deleted them, but it was just the iMessage one that's relevant now, because they told me to turn off iMessage and then it messed up all my contacts. So it's like I sent the messages out. Some people could see them. Then I couldn't see that they saw them on their chat. Like if I had a text message with you, Simon, you could see it, but I didn't. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what happened. But SA told me to turn off iMessage.
Yeah, I know what you mean. For me, I will like we want to start using this year as well, but it's not me that uses it. That's the thing. So I can't really give any fresh feedback. That's why like Nathan's fresh feedback is relevant with obviously being in a good Wi-Fi zone, or obviously having some good service on your phone. Excuse me, but the rest of it as well. Like I think I left iMessage on when I did all this stuff. Does anyone here leave iMessage on for bulk blast and it works? Mike, you're the most seasoned vet with this shit. What do? You turn it off, or do you have a fucking Samsung?
Samsung, mate.
Yeah,
no issues.
Oh, God.
Just put aside an hour to send out the messages and off they go. I did 700, I think. Took about 45 minutes to send them out.
Yeah.
And then I think I had about 50 of them respond.
Okay.
That. Usually they're like old leads from up to 10 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So look, it works if you have an Android. That's not what I wanted to say, but it works if you have an Android. It also does work though, guys, if you don't. Again, practice with groups of leads here. Like if you've got a friend that's got an iPhone and a friend that's got a Samsung, right? Ditch the friend that has a Samsung. That's the first thing you do. Don't be friends with people that have Samsungs. No, basically put them, yourself, your missus, and your partner, whatever, into a small group. Do a dummy message and see what happens. But you need to know that one of them is from the dark side, right? So one of them has a Samsung, and the rest have iPhones, whatever. Make sure that there's at least one of each. From there, send it and see. We do always say this as well in training, just test before you go live with like big bulk blasts with hundreds of people. It's what we always say. So Cass, is there a different app besides SA Group Text? Yours won't even connect to Wi-Fi, so you can't use it. First thing I would say is update the app if you have and you've done all those things. There will be, yes, but for me, the training that I provide is on SA Group Text, only because it is not that user friendly. It's quite easy, but it is cheap. Most PTs that want to get booked, they don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on text messages, and they don't want any overheads. They don't want any overhead, period. There will be something, Cass, but the main tip in a nutshell is if you're going to send bulk blasts, you need to be responsive quick. Therefore, I recommend getting the responses to your phone. And that is it. Yeah, that is it. I mean, Nate, we were speaking about the ARC. They use a CRM which you could send text messages from, but wouldn't allow responses to be received with. To me, that's pointless. It's pointless. What's the point? So therefore, it was like call Nathan on 0482998854. Like, if you create hurdles of resistance, people won't go through the hurdles. If it's not that quick, people won't take the action. And that is the key with bulk blasting and SMS messaging. So, yeah.
On that note, Simon, I had a meeting with the area manager and the manager yesterday. Because when I was talking about wanting to do bulk blasts, they're going, "Oh, we can send it from our stuff," and I've told them that's useless because I can't book people in.
Yeah.
And with the birthday lists, they want to split it. So now they want to do a Facebook and Instagram post wishing everyone a happy birthday and have their names in it, and then put a link in that they can reply to it. And I'm like, but that's going to put the onus on them to actually do something.
Yeah.
They just kind of went, oh. So I just haven't thought about that.
Hopefully that was a light bulb for him. Like, I mean, like, here's the thing as well, guys, honestly, like, most people don't think about that. They just think that people will take action. You've got to remember this as well, guys, and this is for anyone that's not working with us here at Pinnacle. A marketing strategy is something that you run to collect tangible data that you can take the action with. If you rely on business cards, apparel, like if I had 0498231197 call Simon on this t-shirt, I'd be broke, right? Because I'm waiting for other people to call. So apparel, like with brand advertising, like PT on the back, call me, here's my number. Business cards, anything like a website, like, and some people unfortunately spend so much money on these things. It's crazy. Like, we have clients that, as Glenn and Claire spent like over 7 or 8 grand on a website that they still to this day say was the worst investment they've ever made. And the investment they made with me made them literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a week compared to a website that cost them thousands and that's made them nothing. Like, a lot of people think that people will take the action. They don't, and they won't, right? Especially through social media channels where there are millions of people doing the same thing. If you're and this is just a red hot tip for anybody, if you're running any strategy where in any form of capacity, you're waiting for people to come to you, you are basically waiting for other people to grow your business, and they ain't going to grow your business. They're going to come to you based on you reaching out to them and taking action and ownership on you to grow your own, right? So yeah, I mean, like, hopefully with them, I mean, that was a bit of a light bulb moment, Mike, but you've got to kind of you've got to explain it to them in a way where it's like, what's easier, us taking the action or them? Like, or what's going to work better? What do you think is going to work better? If we get the details and we can follow them up, or just hope that they come to us? Oh, well, yeah, look, if we take the action ourselves, right? Cool. Now, if we give them this to click, does that mean that they have to take the action, or we do? They do. Cogs start turning, you see them going, oh yeah, shit, right? And it's just about breaking it down. But Some people as well, you ain't got, there's no telling them. There's just no telling them at all. They're just, oh yeah, because they don't want to do the hard yards. Like I said before, don't do all the lead gen only then to not execute the leads. It's that simple. You have to go the hard yards. We have a great client in the UK. I was speaking with him before. Like he went from doing face-to-face consults to online consults. One word. It's not horrible. It's just the truth. Laziness. That's all it is. It's fucking laziness. He's like, I'm so close to now, this guy is Sam Barfield, great client. This guy is doing like £4,000 weeks. So it's about $8,000 weeks, roughly $7,500, $8,000 weeks. And he's like, I really want to hit this next milestone. I'm like, what are you doing online consults? Yeah, so I was going to say about that. The show rates are shocking. Bearing in mind the leads are coming through ads where there's no trust, there's no rapport. Yes, people have put their hand up, submitted their details, they've expressed interest. Why are you not going to them? He's a mobile trainer, right? Go to them. Your show rate is 100%, because I don't think there'd be anyone in business if you booked in a consult and then you, the business owner, never showed up. That would be quite retarded. But like, with that being said, I was saying, bro, like, don't try and fix something that's not broken. You take the action, you will win. And until you're at a point where, again, you will run the ads, book people for online consults, right? If you are going to whinge about people not showing up, go and do it face to face. But until you're happy where you can go, right, okay, this is the funnel. We're generating 50 leads a week. 25% of these guys are responsive and booking in for calls. The show rate, I mean, like, depending on what yours is, should be, let's say 75, 80% plus. If you're not prepared to let go of that 20, 25% people that aren't showing, then go to them, right? Don't be lazy. It's very, very simple, but unfortunately, people want everything done easily these days, right? When hard work works, and that's it. All right, we're in this chat here. You've had that with builders. Well, you've had that with builders 100%. I don't yet you have that with anybody these days. Basically, will want stuff done the easiest way and cuts corners to get there. But unfortunately, to success, there's no cutting corners. The board game teaches you that quite well, guys. The board game, Mike, you'd like the board game, mate, especially if you
I've been
really
wanting to get that for years.
man. I couldn't. You know, it's like I hate talk. I don't want to talk about money, but it's freaking $160 to $200 this board game, man. I saw
Next
it.
time you come to Brisbane, bring it up.
Huh?
Game. Next time you come to Brisbane, bring it up. We'll have a game.
No, I'm not joking. I was like, I thought about like taking it back to the UK because I was like seeing some family that would like it. I'm like, I'll put that in my bag. It freaking thing weighs a ton as well, man. I'm not joking. It's like, yeah. So yeah, it's one of them. But I'm telling you, this thing it really does teach. It teaches well, and one of the things it teaches is that there is no shortcuts. And if you are a driven individual and you play that game, and you keep going around and round in circles, it frustrates you, and it makes you really, when you realize that it reflects that what he talks about in this book, like it makes you think, shit, in real life, am I just spinning the wheels, right? And that's what it makes you think. And like for me, I don't like that. I like to know that I'm kind of moving somewhere, right? But anyway, Rubes.
Yeah, so I've got an interesting question on a different topic. If you
Yeah,
wanna-
bro, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, shoot. And then
Yeah.
5 minutes we'll shoot.
Yeah, so long story short, like I'll be honest, guys, I haven't felt that great recently, and there's a lot of things that have gone into that. So don't worry, it's just about like the business side of things. Yes, I cut off the other coach last week,
Yeah.
but anyway, where I'm going with this is that an interesting question I have for you is that do you sort of feel like you're sort of always going to question your systems and like question how good you are as a coach, and then that messes up like how much volume and conversion you have, and then it's just like a snake that eats itself, because it's like you're not getting the volume and the conversions you need and you want because you don't feel like you're good enough, and then you're not getting new clients, and then it's just a cycle. So I don't know, I guess my question would be like, you know, let's just say theoretically, you had something that was so unbelievably amazing. A bottleneck could still be like marketing, like getting yourself, like, is that sort of, I don't know, do you agree with that? Because like, yeah, I don't know.
You believe in the systems is the first question.
I do believe in them, yeah, and I think like I have thought loops about questioning them, and then I realized that I'm not the issue. Like, I've broken all my systems down. I do it all the time, and they're good. They fucking work. I just need to do more. So it's like, yeah, I think, I don't know. I think, you know, even the best product is what I'm getting at. It's like, if you had like the best product ever, which I don't, but I have a good product, which I'm happy with, it's like, you still think a bottleneck would be like marketing and like getting people in, etc., etc.
Definitely. Like for me, this is a great question, bro. Like, honestly, great question. You'd talk a whole nother webinar on this one topic. Like, and we'll kickstart the second web. We'll roll this over and we'll kickstart the first 10 minutes by following on here. So if you've got the product and you've got everything you need, then and there is a bottleneck, there's something there stopping it. The one bottleneck that I most commonly see with trainers that stops people growing is volume. The volume's low, and we'll talk about volume in the next webinar because I'm going to ask people again how many consults they've got booked in, right? But volume is what will stop people. Volume. Because volume, even if you have the best product in the world, right? And like all of you guys here, I know for a fact if I ask Michael would probably say he has the most complete product that he could possibly build. I mean, he's got a ton of value that he's in there. Same with most people here, but you also have the belief, right? The belief. The volume enables you to put the product into action, which if you then have success with, creates the belief that everything works, which completes the circuit of, right? Rather than a circuit where you're eating, you keep questioning yourself and you keep eating behind. So you keep, like you said, a snake eating itself. The right circuit that you want to have is system put in front of people with volume, where you will get you'll go through a period of hurdles of like tweaking and amending and making it your own, and then obviously creating the belief. So when you get 2, 3 conversions, that is the biggest thing that every single person needs. Your first 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we say the first 5 kilos, right, is the most important for a weight loss client because they believe that. It's not like a fluctuation on the scales of 1 or 2 kilos. It's 5 kilos. It's the most important. After that, you could relate, you could relate that to business. The first 5 conversions are everything. They're not going to necessarily come 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. They might be 1, 2, nothing, nothing, nothing. Then your belief starts to go again. But you need the first 5, so that therefore you complete the whole circuit, the circuit of belief. So volume, I think, is your problem. We need to put everything that you have systematically, right? All your systems into practice with good volume. Therefore, obviously, it relates to like where you're at. Is the gym where you're based going to provide you with the volume? Because otherwise, what happens is you get suffocated by the speed. And the speed you won't like because it will be a slow speed based on your low volume. You've got everything. We don't like the systems are perfect. Therefore, the volume comes next. So what we'll do, we'll jump straight into marketing. We'll continue this talk in there. For everyone that's tuned into this Q&A, it's been awesome to speak with you, but I'll speak to everyone else here inside the marketing. All right, let's go and we'll continue in there.